13 seconds on the play clock. 2 receivers to the right and the left. 1 running back. That's Barkley on the left hip of McSorley. Again, faking the handoff to Barkley. Pressure in the pocket. McSorley goes down. Blind side pressure from Joe Gaziano. And this Penn State offensive line continues to struggle against the front 7 of Northwestern. It's 3rd and 17.
Graziano, 3rd sack of the year. That only puts him tied for 1st in sacks on this team. Again, not a team that typically gives a lot of pressure, but in typical Big Ten fashion, they've come up strong in this game.
Penn State only 195 yards of total offense, as it's a big 3rd down with 4:45 on the running clock. 2 receivers, rather 1 to the right, 3 to the left of McSorley. Handoff to Barkley, there's a hole. 45 cut step to the 50, and Barkley, with his largest gain on the ground in this game, is able to scamper for 7 yards. Penn State at the 50, it looks like they'll punt again.
And that's good. We at least see they're able to run the ball with Saquon Barkley up the middle. Maybe it's just because they were playing back and expecting the pass, but good to at least get his motor running in this game because we haven't seen it at all. It's completely stalled out.
Flynn Nagel will set up at the 10-yard line to receive the punt from Blake Gillikin. Gillikin steps up to the 40, boots one downfield to Nagel. He'll run up. This one bounces just over the goal line. It'll be a touchback. And Gillikin kicking himself a little bit. Best field position Northwestern will have all second half as it's 4:02 remaining. They're down by 17. And for Northwestern, again, it's just a 3-score game, George, but how quickly do they have to get score number 1 if they really want to compete with Penn State?
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me if they just go for a deep play on this first attempt here. They need to start getting something. There's only 4:02 left in this 3rd quarter, and Penn State's defense, we've said it all day, has been incredibly tough. They need to get a score fairly quickly here against the Penn State defense, who's been on the field a lot today.
Northwestern 3 drives, 3 3-and-outs. Thorson over the middle, complete to Flynn Nagel, and Apke drags him down. But just in front of the first down marker is Nagel to the 30-yard line. And Clayton Thorson with his first completion of the second half. 3:50 remaining on the clock. 31-yard line with the ball, and it's hurry-up offense. Faking the handoff to Jackson, rolling out to his right, dumps it off. Dickerson is sandwiched, and the ball falls to the ground.
And Koa Farmer and Jason Cabinda just coming in at the last second. Nice, tough Big Ten linebackers coming together for that incompletion.
So clock will stop on the incompletion. 2nd and 10 from their own 31. 3:42 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Wide receivers spread out, 2 to the left, 3 to the right. Thorson in the shotgun, his heels at the 26-yard line. Changing the play at the line. Takes the snap. No drop, just a quick hit on the outside, popped into the air, diving, and the interception for the Nittany Lions. No, they say it hits the ground. Originally on the interception, it looked like Tyrell Chavis, but the call on the field is that it came through his arms and hit the ground. Great pressure by the Nittany Lions and a great job by Christian Campbell to force that ball to pop high in the air. Again, Northwestern wasting no time. 2 receivers to the left, 3 to the right of Thorson. It's 3rd and 10 from their own 31. Now Jackson will step back to the right hip of Thorson. He was lined up wide right. They need the 41 for a first down. Thorson, 3-step drop, over the middle, fires high, almost intercepted by Marcus Allen. He reached back behind himself at the 45. And there it is. 4 plays, and this time a punt for Northwestern. So I guess improvement for the Wildcats, but Penn State's defense still phenomenal.
Phenomenal once again. Nearly 2 picks on that drive. Marcus Allen nearly with the Odell Beckham interception with one hand over the back of his head. And now Penn State still going to get great field position here.
Nice wander, boots it. It will hop at the 40, roll to Tompkins. He picks it up recklessly between 3 players and is able to fall down on top at the 29-yard line. Penn State will take over. 3:19 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Nittany Lions started off strong. They had the 1-yard touchdown run by Saquon Barkley after a 66-yard drive. But after that, not much doing as Northwestern has upped their game defensively here in the second half.
They absolutely have. And again, that's without Patty Fisher on the field. They still look very solid on defense. And we said coming into this game, it's not going to be a high-scoring affair. It's going to be one of those classic Big Ten games like we saw against Iowa a couple weeks ago.
McSorley, 3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right, Barkley on his right hip. Barkley takes the handoff, bounces to the right side, stutter step at the 30, gets around the edge, and is pushed out of bounds after a modest gain. They'll call it 2.5, maybe 3 yards.
And like we said, it's like Saquon Barkley's motor had stalled out. They got to get the jumper cables and start him up again.
Godwin Igwebuike on the tackle as he pushes Barkley out of bounds. 2nd and 7 from their own 32. Nittany Lion heavy set formation, one receiver to the right, two tight to the left. Barkley tight on the left hip of McSorley. McSorley takes the snap, a two-step drop, stepping up in the pocket, firing over the middle. Tompkins with room to the 45, dragged down at the 47, and DeAndre Tompkins, the speedy slot receiver in space, able to pick up 13 yards.
Yeah, coming into this game only with 10 catches, he's had a really good performance thus far. A guy less than 6 feet tall, making another one of those big over-his-head catches as Trace McSorley continuing to sail the ball a little bit in this game.
Two receivers spread out to the left, the ball on the right hash for the Nittany Lions. Barkley on the left hip of McSorley. McSorley again faking the handoff, going up top, down the field to Irving Charles. Just over his head at the 15-yard line. It was Godwin Igwebuike, Montre Hartage on the coverage, and he was blanketing Irving Charles. Not much space to fit that ball in.
No, and we mentioned Penn State not necessarily going deep a ton. McSorley's yards per attempt is 4 yards shorter than last season. That's one of the plays, but we usually saw last year with a Chris Godwin on the field, or maybe going back a couple years with the Allen Robinson type of receivers that Penn State doesn't have now.
Trips bunch to the left side, no one on the right. Barkley on the left hip of McSorley. He'll take the handoff, counter play to the left side, darts up the middle at the 50, 45, 40. Here goes Barkley to the 30, one man to beat, 20, 15, 10. Barkley to the end zone. All it takes is one play. Saquon Barkley. It's 23-0 for the Nittany Lions.
Like I said, they got those jumper cables out. You got to get Saquon Barkley out in space. Let him turn the corner, and that's exactly what he was able to do. Penn State's offense finally a little bit rejuvenated after maybe a little bit of a sluggish first half with his time change.
Barkley, a massive gain for touchdown number 2 on the day. And the Nittany Lions, barring an extra field goal here from Tyler Davis, as it's set down, he'll send it through. And Penn State up 24-0 over the Wildcats. 4 plays, 71 yards, and the exclamation point, 53 yards on the ground from Saquon Barkley. That took just 1:06 off the clock, and maybe that's what Penn State needed to finally break this game open.
Absolutely. James Franklin looks ecstatic on the field right now. This has been a game of highs and lows the entire time against Northwestern. A flight going back for Penn State. Yeah, it should be a good one right now. A short flight going back all the way back to State College tonight. You're up by 24 against Northwestern on the road. You have this time change. And if this defense can continue to hold on, again, should be a happy flight for the Nittany Lions.
And really enough can't be said about the way the defense has kept the Nittany Lions in this game. If they're not as good as they have been so far, we might be looking at 17-10 coming into the end of the third quarter. Instead, it's 24-0. And with Barkley starting to motor, McSorley has looked good all game, and the defense stout against Northwestern. This is a chance for Penn State to do what they did a lot last year and run up the score in the second half.